So we want to hate the Federal Reserve, what the Federal Reserve does, and try to convert the people who are doing these bad things to us. But regardless of whether we can convert them or not, we have to stop them.
Well, Lew, as you know, that's an example of how much liberty has grown, and the fact that we've had a game changer and we're really starting to win. Is 10 years ago, Ron Paul couldn't get one co-sponsor to audit the Fed. He passed it in the House this year. They watered it down in the Senate. But the beginning of the end has happened, and Zbigniew Brzezinski a few months ago was bemoaning this to the Council on Foreign Relations, that people are finally awake, not to the puppet politicians, but to the big mega banks who aren't free market, who want a socialist system to transfer it through fascism. They socialize, collectivize us to put us on the plantation, but then use a fascist system through government on top of it, kind of caked on top with the icing to transfer the funds to them. It's the beginning of the end when the general public, now over 80% in major polls, know the Federal Reserve is the problem and want to get rid of it. I mean, there's no way that they're going to be able to reverse that. And people expect instant victories. They expect that, oh, Ron Paul should have won in 2008. He won in getting the real issues out. Now look what it's turned into today.
Oh, absolutely. He had that was a huge educational victory. And there was a funny article in Forbes maybe a year and a half ago where the writer said, look, this is extremely dangerous. The Fed has to be boring. He said if the Fed becomes interesting, then the great technocrats who are running our lives and who know better than us and are taking care of everything won't be able to operate. And he said this is the real damage that Ron Paul is doing. He's making the Fed interesting. Well, of course, Ron Paul has done that. He has made the Fed interesting. It should be interesting because they're ripping us off. They are ripping you off. They're ripping your children, your grandchildren, and all Americans into the future off. So, yeah, we ought to be interested in it, and we ought to do something about it.
Lew Rockwell, LewRockwell.com, one of the most powerful speakers and minds we interview. Honored to have him. Final segment with Lew straight ahead. Stay with us. Our final segment with Lew Rockwell. Then at the start of the next hour, we're going to have Jim Mars on, talk about his book on banking and get his take on a lot of other important issues. I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors. It's made in America, high quality diamond gusset jeans. And they've got a special running right now where you can get 3 free gifts. Go to gusset.com/America to get the free T-shirts or music CDs and things with your purchase. That's gusset.com/America or 888-8-GUSSET, and Gusset spelled Gusset, 888-8-GUSSET. If you want jobs in this country, you better vote with your pocketbook. A lot of people talk about wanting to have jobs here, but they still buy the Chinese junk. And, of course, don't forget that we're running it into the new year. You can get 5 months free right now at prisonplanet.tv, the live video stream, the archives, my book, Paul Watson's book, all of my films in super high quality, and so much more. Now, 7 years up and running, prisonplanet.tv. I want to thank all the listeners. We couldn't do it without you, and you can certainly see the effect we're really starting to have together as all the tyranny we forewarned people about is now unfolding. Only got about 4 minutes left with Lew Rockwell of LewRockwell.com. Lew, I wanted to bring up some of the tricks the social engineers have. One of them is stage crises or using a crisis, like Emmanuel said to the Wall Street Journal, don't let a good crisis go to waste. Ron Paul's talked about the Gulf of Tonkin. I was going to bring up to you, staged events or Mutalib admittedly being, given a visa because an unnamed agency told the State Department to give the underwear bomber the weapon. What's your take on staged events?
Well, I think that certainly take place. You mentioned Gulf of Tonkin, Pearl Harbor. Was something Franklin Roosevelt wanted to have happen. Woodrow Wilson wanted us into World War I and wanted the Lusitania attacked. So governments love wars. I mean, for the rest of us, we think of a war as horrific. I mean, dead people, wounded people, property destroyed. I mean, just anti-civilization. But these people, they love war, and so they're very different from us. On the other hand, I think we always have to take into account that the government is a very stupid organization. It has to do with the economics of bureaucracy. It's a dangerous organization. Think of it like a huge blind rabid dog. So if it steps on you, boy, you're dead. If it grabs you by the jaws, you've had it. But it is possible to avoid it. So yes, they're capable of anything. I don't think, if the government doesn't do something evil, it's only because they don't think it's in their interest, or they didn't think of it, or they can't figure out how to do it. But there's nothing that's beyond them morally. They're glad to start wars, kill people en masse. I mean, there's nothing beyond them. But again, as the bureaucracy is stupid. So thank goodness they're not smart, and thank goodness that private intellectuals, private people, private study, private shows like yours, private organizations, private books, private websites, we are able to refute and resist these people. We're able to spread the truth about history, about economics, about all the things that are going on in the world today and all the things they're doing to us. So I think, again, the government, again, is capable of anything evil, but they are a stupid organization. That's the reason that we can win.
But you do support a new 9/11 investigation?
Oh, sure. I'd like to see a new Pearl Harbor investigation. I mean, I think I'd like to see an actual. I remember the heroic Church hearings of the 1970s when Senator Frank Church actually looked into the CIA, and we got some great information of the sort we sort of knew existed, but it's great to have the facts about the murders and the coups and all the evil deeds of the CIA. So I'd like to see this for everything about the government. Absolutely. Well,
incredible interview. I want you to have a great New Year. In 30 seconds, do you agree with me that the tide is starting to turn?
I think the tide is turning, absolutely. I think the tide is, I must say I was very pessimistic right after 9/11, but I think today, absolutely, people are waking up, people are learning, they're educating themselves. So, again, even though I think we have
wonderful. Lew Rockwell, thank you so much.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
We're live, ladies and gentlemen. Got Jim Mars coming up in the next segment on a host of key issues. Got this article here in my hands. The latest Infowars.com story. America has gone away, by Dr. Paul Craig Roberts. And it says, anyone who doesn't believe that the U.S. is an insipid fascist state needs only to consult the latest assault on civil liberties by Fox News. Instead of informing citizens, Fox News informs on citizens. Jason Dietz reports from Fox News, no longer content to simply shill for a growing police state. Folks, we have to stand together or hang separate. Really, nobody came to our aid a few months ago when Fox News reported us repeatedly to Homeland Security. It says, turning in a grandmother to the Department of Homeland Security for making anti-American statements. And Fox News said that she criticized the government. I've got Fox News video where they say, taser 9/11 truthers, put us in secret jails. I've put that in my films, clips of it. It goes on, the media have segued into the police attitude, which regards insistence on civil liberties and references the Constitution as signs of extremism, especially when the Constitution is invoked in defense of dissent or privacy, or a placard or bumper sticker. And then it goes into the Fox piece calling Homeland Security on somebody that criticized the government. Well, what happened here? What happened here? This is an article from March 31st, 2010. 8 months ago or so. Fox News calls for Obama to be killed while framing Alex Jones for instigating violence. And then we have the clip of the video clip where they called for, one of their hosts called for Obama to be killed. No Secret Service came there. Of course, Michael Reagan got to call for Mark Dice to be killed. He said, I will give you money. I want him shot. I will pay for the bullets. I mean, if I said that, I'd be arrested in hours. And should be. I mean, I got millions of listeners. Somebody could very well go out and kill somebody if I told them to. Instead, Fox News put out a story claiming I was calling for violence and then culling through comments on the website trying to claim I was supporting calls for violence. People ask why after a few weeks comments get erased. That's the only way. We don't have time to go through them all and find calls for violence. And so the comments are there while the stories are getting attention. People can have their debate, and then it all gets memory hold. Because I can't have the Secret Service here every month. And Fox News and the ADL crawling through comments and reporting it like I'm calling for it. We ought to just get rid of the comments entirely, I'm telling you. And that forum is nothing but problems. FBI, Secret Service, I mean, I can't handle it. Federal subpoenas. And I want people to be able to debate and discuss, but it continues. Mass murdering, promoting Fox News, the network that was instrumental in pushing lies about weapons of mass destruction that resulted in the deaths of over 1 million innocent people, is so concerned about violent comments on the internet that it employs teams of people to trawl through anti-establishment websites. And they listed Infowars.com as terrorist, looking for reasons to report Alex Jones to the authorities. And then we've got links to their stories doing that. So it's not just this woman they called Homeland Security on. They called them on us repeatedly. We discovered it's Fox News, the ADL, and the Southern Poverty Law Center that are doing this to us. And don't forget, within 2 hours of Richard Poplawski killing those 3 cops in Pittsburgh a year and a half ago, the Southern Poverty Law Center connected writer had been given access to the computer. Thousands of URLs had been visited, and they said that he was a fan of Alex Jones. And they had some suspicious guy on TV within minutes saying it after they got him in custody. Okay? And then we went and looked at his comments on my site. He was a white supremacist attacking me and saying I was wrong for not being for violence. So, who does the Southern Poverty Law Center and the feds and the cops think of when there's 3 dead cops? Who's the first person they think of? Alex Jones. Pin that scarlet letter on his chest. Tell cops he wants them dead so we can sick cops on him. Unbelievable.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Of this hour, Jim Marrs joins us tomorrow. We've got a huge lineup of guests, and I'll do 4, maybe 5 hours live tomorrow. This is the last live show of the year. Then I'll be back live Sunday, first live show of the year. Before we go any further, though, what in the world are they spraying? We've had trouble keeping this in stock, and they've had trouble printing them fast enough. But excellent film on the geoengineering, the chemtrailing, the admissions that it's going on. We have it discounted at the lowest price anywhere at Infowars.com. What in the world are they spraying? The information in this film will take your breath away. What is geoengineering? The difference between a contrail and a chemtrail, the environmental implications of geoengineering, how the spraying affects you, your family, and even the food you eat. It's What in the World Are They Spraying? Available at Infowars.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. And I meant to carry it. It's been a New York Times bestseller. We are carrying it now at Infowars.com in hardcover. And that's Jim Marrs' new book, The $1 Trillion Conspiracy, How the New World Order, Man-Made Disease, and Zombie Banks Are Destroying America. And, of course, he's also written The Rise of the Fourth Reich, the secret societies that threaten to take over America. He joins us now. But the first thing I want to talk about with Jim Marrs is this issue.